Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down.
Hello, Natalie.
Hi, Angela.
Welcome to another episode of
Put your books down.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's been a pretty good day. It's strong. Today's Monday, and I was really tired, but then I realized I wasn't as tired, so that's all I got.
Wow, that is
riveting
stuff. Yeah, I was tired. You know, you kind of are reminding me of Gene Hackman in this movie that we're about to discuss when he goes through his story. So today, listeners, we are talking about one of the greatest movies ever made, 1996, The Birdcage.
The Birdcage.
And we have been putting off talking about this, but since it's our 1-year anniversary episode, we were like, let's just go deep into The Birdcage.
It needs to be special. And this is, I mean, we try to make all of them special, but we had been putting this off.
Yeah.
And so now today's the day.
Today's the day. So
I'm excited.
This is one of those movies that every time it's on, I stop and watch at least a few scenes of it because there's so many funny scenes in this movie, right?
Yes.
Like
the whole movie.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
So let me give you a little rundown for those of you who've never seen it, which it might be some people we know. Anyway, so Mike Nichols directed this. It came out in 1996. Elaine May, the great comic Elaine May, wrote the screenplay. And from moment one, you are sucked in by these characters. So let's talk about who the actors are. It's Nathan Lane.
Amazing.
It's Robin Williams. It's Gene Hackman. It's Callista Flockhart. It's Diane Wiest. Dan Futterman, who I didn't know who that was before, but he plays the son. Hank Azaria in supporting roles. And Christine Baranski. Which, just right off the bat, that freaking cast is
unbelievable. I know.
Chef's kiss.
I know.
And Frank pointed out something to me, too, that when this opening scene of this movie, they were on a boat, because this is before, like, drone photography and stuff. They're on a boat, and they're filming across the bay, like, into South Beach, and they just keep filming and filming and filming and filming, and then they somehow were able to go all the way right into the nightclub opening scene. Robin Williams and Nathan Lane play a gay couple. Robin Williams owns a nightclub. It's called The Birdcage, and Nathan Lane plays his, for lack of a better term, wife, because they're not able to be married, but he's a drag performer. And his Albert.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Armand and
Albert.
And Albert. And basically the if you read the description, it's the son of a gay club owner and his drag star partner announces his engagement to the daughter of a conservative senator. Comic chaos ensues and proves you do not have to be a woman to be a good mother. Yes. So they're coming for dinner to this house.
Yes. And Gene Hackman is obviously the fiancé father.
Yes.
The conservative dude. But
yes.
actually, Diane Wiest is pretty conservative in this movie too. I was kind of surprised at how hard that was. She's usually the sweet, and she's still sweet, but she's sweet, but I didn't remember her being so anti. Until I rewatched it, I was like, oh, damn, okay, she's really hammering it in there. Okay, all right. Just hadn't seen her like that. But
she has two parts to herself in this character. She goes super sweet, and then she goes super turbo, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite thing. There's so many little subtle nuances in this movie about what they say behind closed doors and then what they say in the public, and how those two things differ.
So, you know, Robin Williams' son is he wants to bring his fiance to their house and the parents. And he was like, so they're coming to dinner and y'all can't be gay.
Right.
It was and honestly, like, it was just the son that was doing this whole thing. Like, I don't even know if he had let his son just meet his parents. I don't know, but it was like, it was so adamant, and it got to be, and it was sad too, you know, that was like the sad element. And so Robin Williams is trying to act more masculine and like be this dad. And then Nathan Lane, Albert, they were going to have to like kick him out because he was too flamboyant and it was going to ruin everything. And then anyway, so the whole rest of the movie is like the shenanigans of trying to keep everything under wraps, so that the Senator Gene Hackman and Diane Weiss don't freak out over how the son was raised by two men. So it just gets kind of crazy. But for me, Hank Azaria steals the whole show. Like almost like every scene Hank Azaria is in, he plays the dresser, like their maid. I mean, how do you say maid?
He's their houseboy,
housekeeper,
houseman.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said that his accent that he did in this movie, he was also filming, which is funny, Heat. The movie we have also already discussed was Heat. He was filming these movies at the same time. So if you look at how he was in Heat and then in this movie, it's just hysterical. It's so good. Wow. But he got this accent he was impersonating his grandmother. And so that's like kind of was the way he talks and the things he says in this movie are so funny. He's so adorable. But okay, no, you go. You talk.
He's so no, he's adorable. And my favorite scene of him actually is when he's singing "Hard for the Money," and yes. Can you do it, Natalie? She worked hard for the money. It's so good. But you know, this movie has a subplot that this senator has a sex scandal going on. He has a PR problem because this guy, he's like the head of the conservative family values coalition or something like that. And so they decide to drive down to Florida to meet the parents. And as they are driving down, the media and like the tabloid media, Inquirer. They're following them. And so they're trying to get a scoop on please give us a comment about this crazy scandal that just happened. And so he's dodging the media the whole entire time. And he's doing all these crazy things like trying to go down a ladder on the side of his house. And then the media's right there and just all these little things. Right. But they finally get to
South Beach.
They get to South Beach. And the first thing we see is this drag club. And it's fantastic and amazing.
Yes.
And they're singing, "We are family." And that's the beginning of the movie. And I love it because I will just put the spoiler out there. It also ends with "We are family." And it just kind of sets the whole tone for this movie, which is, first of all, drag is super fun.
Yes.
Drag has always been about having tons of fun.
Yeah, fun.
That's it. It's fun.
So much fun.
Plus, when this movie came out in 1996, everybody was so sad because the AIDS epidemic had been like so huge in the United States. Booming. It was like you had Philadelphia came out in 93 and then this is 96 and it's finally like, but we can still have some fun, can't we? Like the community is rebuilding itself. Like we're all so sad from AIDS, but let's laugh again, let's rebuild and laugh again. So I love that too. But yeah, Robin Williams though, I mean, can we just talk about
it was supposed to be Steve Martin.
Oh my gosh. Can you even imagine how quirky that would have been if it had been Steve Martin?
And Robin Williams was supposed to play Albert. He was supposed to be Nathan Lane's character. And he was, but he had just done Mrs. Doubtfire, which is, another movie where he's in drag. And he wanted to do, he didn't want to is it cuckle? Is that the right way to use it?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Cuckle himself, back himself into a corner, in one type of role.
Pigeonhole?
You never heard the word cuckle?
I've heard of it, but not in that context.
Oh, Angela.
I mean,
all right, one nasty joke and counting. We got more.
Sorry.
We got more.
You mean he didn't want to be typecast or pigeonholed? Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I was trying to use new words. I'm just trying to, try new things.
Increase your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so he didn't, and Steve Martin didn't do the movie. He went, I think he did Father of the Bride or something else. Anyway, so
that's
Robin
more his
Williams,
speed.
he's so amazing in this movie, but he's pretty serious in this movie. He's definitely not like,
I know,
he's so good, but it was like serious and comedy. But he did some dramatic work in this, I think.
But let's talk about his clothing for just a brief moment, because it's
pants,
so
those linen
amazing.
Pants.
First of all, the haircut is so perfection.
Yep.
And then the mustache is perfection. And then the gold chains and the wife beater. Yep. Or I guess I shouldn't use that term. The white tank top, man tank.
Yeah.
And then the wide leg rayon
widest leg pants I've ever seen in my entire life. Those are the widest pants ever.
I know, with like the robe that like it falls over. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I would wear everything he wore on that.
Yes.
In the movie.
I know. He's insanely. He just, once again, we see that Robin Williams is just this amazing actor who can do whatever he wants, and he can do serious and he can do comedic and he can do it all in the same role. And it's just insane.
He can. He does it like all in like one movie.
And I loved him and Nathan Lane as this gay couple. They're just absolutely stunning together.
Oh my God.
The way they play off each other.
Oh my God.
Good.
So
She's the diva, Starina is her stage name.
Starina. I mean, and like an emotional wreck, like the most sensitive, like you can't, it's like eggshells around her. And it was just like the dramatic reactions that Nathan Lane just delivered. He was perfect. Like
Perfection.
He is perfect. And I remember the first time I saw this, and I was like, my family, we've watched it and we were howling. I mean, the whole movie I'm howling. And then also it's like a really sweet family dynamic. Eventually, it really like is about family and all of that. But Nathan Lane, like, so essentially Nathan Lane pretends to be the mother.
Yeah.
Like, is the mother, but like that they are a straight couple.
Yes.
Robin Williams and Nathan Lane are a straight couple. And Gene Hackman is eating it up. He is like absolutely flirting with Nathan Lane in front of Diane Wiest and eating it up like perfectly. And I can't remember I can't remember like how it changed in the movie. Like what was the climactic moment was when maybe the wig fell off or something, like something happened.
So what ends up happening is they go through this whole dinner and, they're dancing, they're singing show tunes, they're having a wonderful time. Gene Hackman is telling his stupid story about how they drove down south to see the leaves and to see this wonderful country of ours. And then he's like,
the seasons change.
Talk about Purple Mountain's majesties,
Yeah.
And they've told him that Robin Williams' character is a cultural attaché to Greece. And so, that it's this whole big, huge lie that they're not going to be able to keep this lie. Like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, they're not going to be able to sustain this lie if they're married. Like this is so dumb that they're trying to even lie about this. Like they just need to come clean the whole time.
Right.
And it's super awkward the whole time because you're like, are they ever going to come clean? Are they ever going to come clean? Are they ever going to come clean? And then the miraculous thing happens where Christine Baranski comes flying through the door finally to pretend that she's there to be Armand's wife. And she is actually Val's like biological mother. So it's like this confusion.
It all explodes.
The jig is up. The jig is up. And they finally come clean. And Val finally grows a pair, the son, and is like, look, he's like, look, this is my dad. This is my mother. They're a gay couple. My favorite thing about that is when Gene Hackman doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it.
He's like, what? What is going on? And Diane Wiest. Do you know what she says?
Yeah.
What does she say?
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's offensive.
She goes, he's a man, Kevin. He's a man. Don't you get it? He's a man. And the whole time you're watching this, you're like, does everybody not see that this is obviously a man in drag? Like,
right.
You just suspend your disbelief the whole entire time.
Well, I mean, like, this is one of those movies where like, it's like Mrs. Doubtfire. Like this would never happen. Like people figure it out.
Right.
I mean,
yes.
But at the same time, it was, and then, Val, the son, I kind of hate him in this whole movie. Which I think maybe you're supposed to. I just was like, you're such a wank, man. Like, you really think this is going to work and you're going to do this forever till you're married at 20 and you're going to just never go have a combined event with your parents? Like, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, I know. And it's really hurtful
so mean
to Armand. It's very hurtful. And I love how Robin Williams plays that part. Like,
yeah.
He's like, look, I'm going to do this for you. Like, I don't give a crap. He's like, I wear foundation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. I dress flamboyantly. Yes. I own a drag club and I'm not ashamed of myself. And the fact that you are is on you, but I will go along with this basically just because you're my son and I love you.
Right.
You know, but even though it's very hurtful, but I mean, even just the body language, the quiet rage that he exhibits is so good. It's so, so good. And the sadness and everything about it. I know.
When they had to like fix the condo and like had to make it, they put like antlers on the wall. They took down all of their sculptures because they're all like naked people. But and then they just were like trying to like, I guess butch is that make it more masculine, and it just
wasn't. Butch it up.
Yeah, it wasn't translating.
Natalie's like, what can I say and what can I not say? And I'm like,
I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of like to, you know.
The other thing that I love through this is, you know, this is a time before people who were gay could get married, and you know, Albert and Armand have spent their entire lives together, building this life together, and Albert is constantly like, I'm aging. You're just going to find some 20-year-old who you want to be with, and you're not going to love me anymore. And there's that one just like really wonderful moment where they're sitting at the beach and they have this conversation and Armand says, look, here's a palimony agreement. You can have it all. This is all for you. Just sign the papers and this is all yours, you know? And and Albert is like, I don't want all this. You don't have to do all this. And he's like, but why does it care? It's yours. Why does it matter if you own it and you say I can have it all, or I own it and I say you can have it all? It's ours. It's us together. Right. You've been keeping me laughing this whole entire time. Like, I want to be buried next to you so that I will never miss a laugh.
Yeah.
And it's just like the sweetest, like
so sweet.
The world needed to see gay couples in this light, like this stable, beautiful, gorgeous relationship of two gay men. Like at that point in our world, we just hadn't seen that. This is before like Will and Grace. This is before, you know, we just needed that so badly, I think.
Totally. I was like, even now I'm like, Gene Hackman, like really like him doing this movie. Cause my perception of him before this movie was like cowboy, mean politician, actor, person. I mean, just in his roles. Yeah. And to see him like dress in drag because he has to escapes through the club. And eventually everybody's dancing together. Everybody, look, it all works out. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's getting along. And everybody's like accepting each other and this is the way it is and blah, blah, blah. But I just loved that Gene Hackman did this movie because it made me, I just was like, oh, that's cool. Like he's not this scary, you know, fake president that murders hookers and tries to get away with it in every movie, you know, like it was nice to see him in this movie.
Yeah. And kind of taking himself not so seriously.
Yeah.
And having super fun with the buffoonery of his stupid position with his like weird values about like, you know, these backwards conservative, you know,
well,
just kind of.
Remember, we're not political.
I know we're not. We're gentle. We're
gentle. We are not political.
We are so gentle. Gentle.
And we're just talking about the movie.
Gentle. But there is this attitude that he's being confronted with, that he's actually seeing, you know, a committed gay couple. And what it turns out is they're going to be his saving grace.
Yeah.
They're going to save him ironically, from the embarrassment of having to be caught by the Inquirer.
Right.
The gay couple saves him by putting him in drag and sneaking him out to the song We Are Family, which I think is maybe one of the best scenes ever.
It's so good. Well, the whole makeup and the wig with Gene Hackman under there, I was just like, this is wonderful. It was so good.
I know.
And Diane Weiss too.
Yeah. She's in her little cop hat and her chain link necklace.
Yeah.
I know. It's so good.
It was really good.
So what's your favorite scene, Nat? What's your favorite scene in this movie?
I think my favorite scene is when Nathan Lane is practicing walking like more masculine and he's in these clogs and it's like not a montage, but it's like Robin Williams is he's like pinky down when he drinks a drink. He's like, put your pinky down. He's like, this is how you walk like a man. You shake hands like this and do this. And Nathan Lane doing that, all of that. I could rewind it over and over again. Like just the walk.
And over.
Just over and over again. And then anything that Hank Azaria says, like when he didn't make an entree and it was soup. And he's like, it's supposed to be, anyway, it's like the shrimps. Anyway, anything Hank Azaria did in this movie, I love that too. But I love all of it. But the Nathan Lane, the makeover part for Nathan Lane to butch up was my favorite.
And then he puts on the suit and he walks out there.
Yes.
And he's trying so hard to just fit in. They're like, fine, we're just going to say it's your uncle, like whatever.
Right.
And then he walks out and they all are sitting there looking at him and they're like, he's like, I know, I put on this and it's even more obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're like,
it's just so sweet. But it's just
so
a lot
sweet.
of this, you're just like, God, I mean, and this was like a huge box office hit.
Yeah.
And I love that too. It's just, it was 96.
Yeah.
Things are weird and everybody loved this movie. Like, I think no matter what political party you're in, this movie is hilarious. And I think everybody can agree that it's so entertaining and it's really funny and it's really sweet. And it's just like a really, really, really great movie. And I think that was something, I think that's something all people can agree on.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it's not political. It's humanity. These are just human relationships that.
No, I know. It's just that, it's during a time now. I mean, now it's like, it's like weirder now than ever. So I don't know. Yeah. We want to, we teeter, but we're good. This movie's magical. So everybody should watch it and everyone loves it.
There's also something we haven't talked about on Put Your Books Down in a really long time, Natalie. I feel like we've really let our listeners down because we haven't been talking about buns.
Oh. We've not been talking about buns.
I know.
When did this podcast get so serious?
I don't know. Like, when did you get so serious? Like,
I've been so serious lately. I've just been so serious lately. And you know what? I'm going to lighten up. I got to get my bun. I got to get my bun groove back in.
Yeah.
You know what? Everyone, or one person, I'm sorry. I have been slacking on my bun talk. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better.
There's a massive scene in this movie of Hank Azaria's buns.
So buns, he's basically showing his buns most of the movie. And at least under cheek buns and his cutoffs.
Yes, but remember he's cleaning the pool and he's wearing a thong.
Yes.
And he's like almost showing
great buns.
Yeah. I mean, he's showing a lot more than buns in that scenario.
Well,
he's got like a loincloth in front, but
I mean, I think
but the whole time I was covered. Like, don't bend over. Don't bend over.
Oh, no. Don't bend over. No.
Taint what I want to see.
Okay.
Okay.
Angela said taint.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we really need to, I'm going to do some buns research before our next podcast. And I'm going
to, you've been slacking on the buns talk.
I know. We're going to have to do a bun stop. Just I'll get it back. One
of my favorite lines in this movie is when the parents arrive and Albert is in the other room and he's like shrieking in the other room because he's so upset. And it's like, oh! And they're like, what was that? And they're like, oh, that's our dog Piranha. We lock her in when there's company.
The dog Piranha. I wonder how much they ad-libbed, though. I know they had to like tone down their improvs. Like the director, Mike Nichols, was like, you guys need to do it from the script and then you can do some improv, because Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, they're known like for all their improv.
Just go off. Yeah.
Just to go off. So they had to like figure it out because they could just have gone off and on and make scenes like 45-minute long scenes because they're so funny and just ripped off each other so much.
And then when Nathan Lane finally comes out and he's all dressed as the mother, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Goldman." And there's this whole thing about Goldman, and then she goes,
right.
"Oh," and they're like, "I thought it was Coleman." And she's like, "Please tell me that it's pronounced Coleman." And she goes, "Well, yes, in the United States, it's Coleman, but in France, it's Col de Lemon. And in Europe, it's Coldemon or whatever." And she's like, "So we really don't know what our last name is until we figure out where we are." Like, she just goes on, and they're like looking at her like, "Oh my God." Like,
they were terrified.
They're terrified.
Like,
and they're like,
"We're done."
They're kind of looking off to the side, like, "Are they buying this? Are they buying this? Are they buying this?" And there's so
Gene
much
Hackman
monkey dance.
was just like googly eyed. Yes, total monkey dance. I mean, and it was totally fine. It went really well.
And then there's a point where Robin Williams is going to go into the kitchen and follows Val, and they've got this gigantic curtain behind the dining room table to hide like the full-on swinging bachelor pad that is like the indoor pool and like the crazy palms and the Neptune statue and everything. And he can't find the break in the curtains, and then he finally gets back there, and he's like, "It's like riding a psychotic horse towards a burning stable." Like, they're just freaking out. Everybody's like, "What is going on?"
It's so dramatic.
It's just so dramatic and so funny. And then the china, he brings out the bowls, and the china is clearly like something uber sexual.
Yes. And there's like, keep adding more soup.
Yeah. So but they're like, I think it's young men playing leapfrog. Yes, that's what it is. It's young men playing leapfrog.
Just playing leapfrog. It's no big deal.
They try to they just keep putting more soup in the bowls and just trying to redirect the whole entire time. It's just all these hijinks. It's just funny. But the thing about this movie is that it's done well. It's not stupid.
No, it's not stupid at all.
It's actually
There's nothing
funny.
Stupid about it.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's really well done.
I laugh out loud.
These are not amateurs. Okay. These are like all-star casts. Like, this was not
Heroes.
This was very well thought through, and I think it's perfect. This is so I love Paul Thomas Anderson, the director.
Yeah.
This is his one of his all-time favorite movies ever.
Oh,
that
wow.
and The Shining, but he has been obsessed with the Birdcage, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, Angela and I get that.
Oh, I know.
It's just a whole thing.
Absolutely.
But,
it should be. He's just it's just absolutely perfect in every single way, and everybody should watch it. And if you watch it for no other reason, watch it for when Robin Williams is directing the little guy who is supposed to be in the drag show with opposite Starina.
Yes.
And Nathan Lane is in like leotards and tights and like capizios.
So cute. Oh,
with like the
shoes.
With like a headband. And
stop. It's like, I want that outfit.
I know. And the guy is like, and Robin Williams is like, "Look, I know this is a drag show, but it still has to be a good drag show. So you need to find your motivation." And he's like, "Well, I don't know what to do. Am I just supposed to stand here?" And he's like, "No, you need to make this an eclectic celebration of a dance. You're going to do fussy. Graham, Martha Graham, Twyla.
What's the little horse one?
Madonna. The Michael Kidd. And then he goes, "But keep it all inside."
Yeah.
It's so freaking funny, dude.
That's good.
Yeah. I know. I think that's my favorite.
You did that really well.
And
I think we need to make a stop, though.
We do. One last thing we need to say about this, though, is that 4 Oscar winners, Robin, Nathan, Gene, and Diane, and 1 Oscar nominee for Dan Futterman. So that's pretty amazing. This thing got
Nathan
nominated.
Lane's won an Oscar?
Did he win the Oscar?
He was nominated.
Yeah.
They were all nominated. Yeah.
And also, we should say, since we're not total doofuses, that it is based on a French play and movie from the 70s called La Cage aux Folles. We know this, people. Don't write in and tell us that we don't know. Okay?
Or just write us. You can write us whatever you want. We love correspondence. Angela.
Yeah. Sorry. You can take the hate mail.
Yeah. No, we don't pay any mind to that.
We pay no mind.
So far, so good.
To your hate mail, people.
We don't get hate mail.
We don't get hate mail. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Oh, never mind. So Natalie, it's a new year. It's a new episode, a new season of Put Your Books Down.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on your list for a pit stop?
Well, actually, I thought you were doing that.
I don't have anything. I got nothing. I think I'm going to take a Pete stop.
Okay.
A Pete stop.
We can do
like
a Pete stop. Yeah.
Maybe we should rename our pit stops to Pete stops. No. Okay, fine.
Go back to Brad Pitt. So what's your okay, skirt?
Okay. Yeah, I just watched the episode of Between Two Ferns today where Brad Pitt is on there with what's his butt and
Zach Galifianakis,
and he's like, so does it seem like, people just think that you're beautiful and they just overlook what a crappy actor you are? And then Brad Pitt turns over and he has a piece of gum in his mouth and he spits it out into Zach Galifianakis' eye.
It's so good.
That was pretty good. I love Between Two Ferns.
There's another. I love. I rewatch those all the time. The one with Matthew McConaughey when he's like, I noticed you're wearing a shirt today. Is everything okay?
I know. So good. If people have not watched Between Two Ferns, I feel like, what are you doing with your life?
I mean, it's old. Even the movie on Netflix, I love that movie. The whole thing. I just love. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes for sure.
I just love the awkwardness, but the Steve Carell one's really good. I don't want to ruin that, but it's really good. And then the Keanu Reeves is really funny too.
I know.
I mean, he just talks about how dumb Keanu Reeves is, and he was like, "Well, I'm pretending to have fun now." I mean, you just need to, and it's fake. They have to
yes, of course.
They all laugh mostly through it, and then they have to get ready. But Obama was on it too, and that was really good. Obama was like real good. I mean, I'm calming down. I'm just saying it's really good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like we have dissected the Birdcage and had a pit stop, and I think, it's time to wrap up.
Mm-hmm. Wrap her up, Nat.
Yeah. Well, happy year anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you for
1 year anniversary to you.
We get to do this together. This is really special, and we love Darren and we love Jeffrey. Thank you so much for doing everything for us, because I don't know how to do any of this. And I love you, and namaste around another year.
Yes. Namaste in the family, because we are family.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Get up, everybody, sing.
Yeah. That sounds like a mattress.
For the money.
I love you.
Love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.